Hello, my name is Jingonelli, and today I'm going to be taking you through another tutorial. But before I begin off, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It will bring you some good luck in your forthcoming exams. So for this chapter, we're going to be looking at recruitment and selection. So what do they mean by recruitment? With recruitment, this is the process of searching. This is the process for searching for and encouraging individuals with the right skills to apply for a job or employment with an organization. So the people you get should satisfy the interests of the company and the interests of the job. Then looking at the employment conditions. So with the employment conditions, an organization will influence the rate of recruitment. For example, if the conditions are harsh, the rate of recruitment will be high, since people will be leaving the organization and vice versa. So looking at the success of recruitment exercise will depend on the ability of the organization to establish the correct requirements for a given job, and to be able to identify individuals with the right attributes to fill within those jobs. So this can be achieved through the job analysis. And looking at the sources of recruitment, this deals with finding out where suitable candidates are available and informing them about the openings in the organization. This is the most vital aspect of recruitment. Then what we should know about the source of recruitment: organizations generally recruit from within or outside, in other words, from internal sources or external sources. So beginning off with the internal sources of recruitment, we encourage, or organizations encourage, their employees to apply for top jobs or top job positions. Here, workers already working in the organization will be more suitable for higher jobs than the recruited ones from outside, because with this internal sourcing, it tends to promote employee development. So looking at the methods of internal remuneration, we are having the human resources information systems. Now this one, it's a database of complete records and qualifications, skills, and related to promotion and relate to promotion opportunities. Then we are having the job posting and bidding. So now with this one, it means that communicating of job openings on bulletin, that is on the boards, and maintaining lists of employees looking for upgraded positions. So with this job posting and bidding, you can get to advertise internally. Then we are having an NB here, which is saying employees need to believe the system is administratively fair. So by trying to recruit the members internally, you must show that aspect, that the way you to recruit them is genuine. Then we are having the line managers. Line managers should provide new employees with information on job progression. Succession planning are also key when it comes to the roles being played internally when recruiting the workers. Looking at the external source of recruitment, this involves sourcing from outside the organization. Commonly, it is embraced for entry level positions or to fulfill job vacancies. In case of employee exits, where the required skills are set not to be available internally. Then we are having the methods. With the methods, we are having advertising. So with the advertising, it is the mostly used one. during the external recruitment, where there are job posts that run through media. Then then they can select from them. Then when it comes to the adverts to be posted to the media, they can use selective. They can be selective in that they can achieve this by directly specifying the group of people they need. Then unsolicited applications and resumes. For this one, they are for this one applicants can just walk into the organization without an advert and then request for a job. Then we are having the competing organizations. Now with this one, we can have technical and managerial experts. They can be poached from the competitions, from the competing firms through the better employment terms. So certain firms can get to set out better employment firms. In that, since they are competing, they tend to poach employees from other organizations they are competing with, as a way of it can be their way of recruiting. Then we are having educational institutions. This can look at management trainee opportunities, for example, interns. Then employee referrals. These may be current and former employees. So here you would find that they usually recommend the best, because an employee would not want to recommend somebody of poor performance. So usually they recommend the referrals they make are of good quality. Then we are having the professional associates. Now with this, it deals with labor unions. For example, employee associations that recommend job applicants, for example FUE. Then we are having the employment agencies. Now with this, they are specialized firms that are involved in placing applicants now these are specialized firms that are involved in placing applicants who have registered with them into jobs. Then we go to cost of recruitment. Cost of recruitment, it deals with establishing the source of cost of recruitments per hire. So we can get to have advertising costs, agency costs, then referral bonuses, cost of hires, then walk-ins. Then we divide it by the total hires, so that we can see our costs of recruitment. Then we are having the selection. With selection, this is the process of choosing the most suitable and qualified person who have the relevant qualifications for the employment from a pool of applicants to fill existing or projected job openings. Now with this is when they get to choose, or they try to reduce from the many applicants. So with this, they're saying just like the recruitment is designed to increase the number of applicants whose qualifications meet the job requirements. Now for selection, it aims at reducing the number. And then after knowing that, we are going to go to selection techniques. Now with selection techniques, assessment centers are used here with selection as a tool. So remember, I'm looking at the selection tools. So assessment centers, what does it mean? Here we create a real work-life environment, which this employee or the applicant is going to be expected to work in. Then we look at selection techniques. With selection techniques, we're going to look at the assessment centers. Now with the assessment centers, this deals with creating a real work-life experience for the applicant. In other words, it involves subjecting applicants to screening in a simulated work situation so that the behaviors and the performance on the job can be observed and evaluated. Then we are having interviews. Now with the interviews, we look at the interaction between the candidate and the panel of interviewers. So with this, we are going to look at how is this person, or how can this person elaborate him or herself in order to help the interviewers predict future job performance on the basis of the applicant's oral responses or oral inquiries. Then we are having the employment tests. Now with the employment tests, with an employment test, this is like a written interview. So this can be like an exam given to a candidate to fill in so that they can know a person's where a person lies in terms of skills, knowledge, and so on. Then we are having the application forms. Now with the application forms, sometimes this can be called the biodata. So most organizations require application forms to be completed because they provide a fairly and quick systematic means of obtaining variety of information about applicants. Like I told you, application forms are going to be like the biodata. Then we are having the letter of recommendation and referral checks. This is self-explanatory. So with this is just a letter having information about the applicant. This is where information about the applicant is sought from people who know him or her. Say, for example, the former employees, co-workers, teachers, or lecturers from schools where the candidate studied from. Then we get to look at the placement and induction. Now with this, after an employee has been hired, he or she must be placed on the right job, and with the placement therefore can be understood as the allocation of people to their right jobs. The capacity of the employee can be utilized if he or she is placed in the job for which he is most suitable. Then when we are to look at the principles of placement, individuals should be placed on jobs according to the requirements of the job. So in other words here, the job should not be adjusting according to the qualifications and requirements of the person, but it should be made when the person fits within the job qualities and requirements. Then the employee should be made well aware of the working conditions prevailing in the industry and all things related to that job. Then another principle of placement, we are having the job should be offered to a person according to his qualifications. So here placement should neither be higher nor lower than the qualification. Then the last principle, the placement should be ready before the reporting date of the newly selected person. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel.